Here's a simple tip to make your zaps much more efficient and avoid headaches in the future. As an automation agency, that's something I often see with clients. And the thing they do is that they have a lot of zaps that do the exact same thing. And the fact that they have repetitive zaps is already a bad sign. Instead, what you should do is organize your zaps into what I call modules or functions. Let's take this zap as an example. We have a Shopify trigger. We get new orders, we process the order, and then we save the customer in a CRM. Let's say the client has multiple sales channels. So they sell on Shopify, on Amazon, and maybe they have resellers and we can get the triggers for those new orders, but they're not in Shopify. What you'd be tempted to do if you had 3 sales channels will be to create 3 zaps with each platform as a trigger, a second step for each 3 zaps to process the order. Then you would have a step for each of the 3 zaps to process the order and then create the customer in your CR. Now, the issue with that approach, first of all, it's repetitive and you can centralize that. So you could have one single zap that will process and create the customer in your CRM. That way, if you ever change the way you process the information, you only need to update one place instead of 3 zaps. It's much easier to troubleshoot, to update, and it makes your zaps much more efficient. So instead of having this zap going from Shopify to my step that will process the order, you'll want to create another action. You can either do this with webhooks or sub-zaps, and that's the power of sub-zaps. You will call a sub-zap, and in your sub-zap is where you will process the information and create the customer in your CRM. So I'm just going to delete this step. Recap, you will have 3 zaps. They'll each have new orders as a trigger from Shopify, from Amazon, and whatever other platform you use. Send the information to a sub-zap. That sub-zap is what will process the information. You need to make sure that the sub-zap that will process the information can do it for each of the platforms because the data may vary based on the platform. So again, in that sub-zap, you want the step to process the information and create the customer in the CRM. That way, all 3 sales channels, they trigger individual zaps, but then they all funnel and get centralized into that one sub-zap. And that is a good practice in general to always apply to all your zaps. Is there a way for you to centralize what's being done? Is there a way for you to create a zap that's a function that gets called by other zaps? Is there a way for you to create modules? Trust me, in the long run, it's gonna make things much more efficient, easier to manage. It's gonna save you a ton of headaches and just overall improve your back end. Hope it helps. Peace.